Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to be talking all about how to ditch your procrastination so that you can take bold, confident action towards what you truly desire in your life. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Erin Bogdan. I am a authenticity coach and soul purpose activator, and I help unfulfilled, ambitious, go-getters, and high achievers ditch their self-doubt, ditch their not enough mindset, and step into their most confident, most capable, and most authentic self. And today, as I said, what we're going to be talking about is all about ditching that procrastination, because actually, I don't know if it's surprising or not surprising, but you're not alone in your procrastination. So many people deal with this, and it gets them stuck, keeps them stuck towards actually taking the action that they're telling themselves that they want to take, but they just aren't taking. So we're going to unpack that a little bit today. And really, truly, what gets in the way, or what we need to really understand before we decipher between what is the procrastination really about, we number one need to understand that this procrastination isn't really about the procrastination itself. The issue is never about truly the issue. And what I mean by that is it might appear on the surface that you're not taking action for it. It might be appearing that you're procrastinating, but the reality is that there's something deeper there for you that you're truly either afraid of or avoiding, or it's whatever action that you, whatever in taking the action and moving towards the action that you truly desire, that acting itself and ending up at the end result of where it will get you, there's something there that you're afraid of or that you're avoiding. So we really have to uncover, what is this procrastination actually about? And I want to also share with you that so many people, so many of my clients struggle with this, and it's they come thinking like they're not motivated. They tell themselves this story: I'm not focused enough, I'm not diligent enough, I'm not committed enough, I'm not motivated enough, I can't do this, right? They have this preconceived notion in their head of they're just not like everyone else. They just need to have more consistency. They just need to figure out how to have drive and motivation, and that is absolute bullshit. That is maybe the story that you're telling yourself that's getting you that's creating the procrastination. But the truth is, like I know, as probably a high achiever, there's things in your past that you've achieved, that you've accomplished, that require drive, motivation, and consistency. And guess what? You did it and you got it done. So I know you're someone that's capable of taking action. And so really the procrastination is about something deeper, and that's what we're going to be diving into today. So number one is understanding, first and foremost, is the action that you're procrastinating, do you authentically want to be taking that action? First and foremost is uncovering, well, does actually taking this action feel good to take? Or do I feel like I need to force myself to take the action? Do I have to crack the whip to take the action? And if you're feeling like you have to force yourself to take the action, that's kind of a clue that maybe perhaps on some level it's not bringing you on a deeper level some satisfaction. It doesn't feel good for you to take the damn action. Maybe on some level, as an example, maybe you're just taking the action so you don't disappoint someone else, or so as a backwards way of pleasing another person. And now don't get me wrong, not every action that we're going to take in life we're going to be fired up about and we're going to enjoy. And that's not to say that we don't have to force ourselves to do some things that we don't want to do. For example, work, a project at work perhaps. But the key is, for a majority of the decisions where you have control in your life to decide what action do you want to take, you have to understanding that showing up and taking that action is a choice. And if you have to force yourself to take the action, you probably don't authentically want to take the action. There may be some lack of satisfaction that it's getting you. And I'll give you a specific example. I was just talking about this the other day with my client, which is what kind of created spawned the idea for this live to begin with. Is she has a 1-year-old, and she, as a result of having that 1-year-old birthday party, is sending out thank yous. Now she's dreading sending out the thank yous, and she's been sitting on them for 2 months. And the truth is, because in her free time, which is sparingly as a mom and as a working mom, she'd rather be doing other things than writing out thank yous. And the way that she wrote out these was intending to write out these thank yous was to create handwritten, personalized, thoughtful notes, and understand that action in and of itself doesn't actually feel good for her to sit down and take the time to write out all these thank yous versus, coming up with a solution that would feel good to her, which in her case, we talked through, would actually probably be to, create something that she could get this typed message and get it out quickly and just send out the thank you for the sake of sending out the thank you. And this can be as relevant even as washing the dishes or doing any mundane chore that you don't want to do. Connecting into the deeper satisfaction point that it's getting you, which may be that your house is organized or it feels clean or it feels peaceful or whatever it may be, but really sniffing out and deciphering, do I actually want to take this action? Do I need to take this action? Or am I doing it to placate another person? And starting to evaluate what actions you're taking simply for the sake of placating someone else, and that's not bringing you any satisfaction, and to your best of your ability, reducing those types of actions that you take. Now, something else that I want to talk about is, and I just want to make sure, okay, something else that I want to talk about here as well is and the second reason why we procrastinate is because the very thing that we are working towards is the thing that we don't want to be doing. Or the thing that we don't want to, let me rephrase that, the thing that when we get to that outcome of what we tell ourselves that we want, there's something within that outcome that actually doesn't feel authentically good, or that some part of us is deeply afraid of in reaching that end outcome, reaching that end result. So let me give you another example here as well. Another example with another client is that, in him showing up, and he recently got promoted, he has a lot of responsibility within that promotion, and there's a lot of really great opportunity for him to really own his worth, claim his power, and to show that he is a confident, capable manager, and that he actually is the best person for this job, and that, just to showcase basically his skills. Now, there's different actions within that role that he's been procrastinating, because if he were to take the action, number one, he would have to own that he's powerful, confident, capable, which would mean that in owning that truth, sometimes there's this fear of, with all this responsibility in his case comes the possibility that he's going to let someone down, that he's not going to be able to deliver on those expectations, that he is going to fall short. And in the fear of falling short, it's actually surfacing as this fear of failure, because this is a pattern that was playing out from his childhood. When anytime he had responsibility, he never was able to actually deliver for his perception. He wasn't able to deliver on what was expected of him. And as a result of not delivering on what was expected of him, he felt this stifling fear. He felt like he was a failure. So now there's this fear of, I'm going to fail. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to show up. I'm not going to be able to deliver. And that fear of failure is the very thing that he's avoiding feeling. And as you can imagine, the fear of failure is a painful feeling. And because of that, because it's a painful feeling, of course we don't want to feel it. Of course we're working to avoid it. Of course it's that subconscious part of us that's driving the bus that says, no, don't take that action because it's going to result in this pain. So of course you're going to be procrastinating, okay? So number one, it's understanding that and asking yourself, what am I avoiding and what am I actually deeply afraid of? Because that will likely lead you to, why are you procrastinating? And then this leads to my third point, which is going to tie directly into this piece too, is understanding that the procrastination has some unconscious payoff. Usually it's getting some unmet need met. Let me say that again. Usually it's getting some unmet need met. And in this instance, it's safe to not take action because he doesn't feel like a failure. How can you fail if you don't take the action? That is safe. Another client example is I had someone that was like deeply stuck in their procrastination. They were actually finishing up a degree. They had been in school actually for a long time. I want to say 6+ years of schooling, which is another story in and of itself. But basically with the procrastination, he found himself procrastinating on just about anything when it came to his schoolwork, his exams, getting it done, doing it. And he was doing it all online. So it was all up to him to create the schedule and set the cadence for what he was delivering on. And he found himself procrastinating till the last minute, pulling all-nighters, and just procrastinating really badly. And so what we explored was in his instance, and again, it's like there are deeper mirrors going on. You are replaying a lot of the time old patternings, old way of being that are getting in the way of you showing up how you actually want to be showing up. And in his instance, he deeply desired love and attention from his parents. Now, this wasn't something that at first was conscious. This was something that he, after exploring and realizing, was that for most of his life, he never felt truly seen, acknowledged, and heard, and deeply, deeply loved by his parents. And when I asked him, what happens when you do well? What happens when you perform well, when you don't procrastinate? The answer was nothing. He got nothing. He got nothing from them. No recognition, no acknowledgement, no praise. It was kind of like he was doing what he was expected to do. And he didn't need attention because in their eyes, everything's well. And there's nothing to celebrate here. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, as you can imagine, when I said, well, what happens when you procrastinate? The answer was like, I get all the attention, like basically. And again, he wasn't aware of these things. We coached through the awareness, but he realized that in procrastinating, they were following up with him constantly. They were on his back. They were checking in with him. They were making sure he had what he needed. They were giving him the attention and love that he was seeking. And so on a practical level, like on a deeper level, why would you stop doing something that's getting a deep need for you met, right? Like, why is it worth it to you not to procrastinate when it's more painful to not receive that love and that attention? We do, as crazy as it sounds, we do what gets our needs met. And so what needs to actually happen to break that energetic tie and that energetic bond of procrastination is for him to start meeting his needs directly, for him to start giving himself the love, the attention, the feeling of acknowledgement, feeling of being valued, feeling of being heard, to give it to himself so that he feels really good within himself, that then he can move forward and take the action actually he wants to take, which is he wants to graduate, he wants to get done, he wants to start a job, right? So these old patternings is what's truly authentically keeping us stuck. And so I just want to pause here and kind of recap around the 3 things that I see in most clients around their procrastination is, number 1, the action they're trying to take that they're forcing doesn't actually feel good. They don't authentically want to be doing it. It doesn't satisfy them on some deep level. Number 2 is that the thing that they want in getting that actual thing, there's something that they're avoiding. There's something they're afraid of that very outcome would get them or bring them. And then number 3 is this unconscious payoff that they're getting and actually doing the behavior and figuring out what that is and meeting those needs. So some questions you can ask yourself are, what am I avoiding? What am I afraid of? What's the unconscious payoff? What's the worst case scenario if I took the action? What's the best case scenario if I took the action? And what amazing thing might happen in me actually taking this action and using all of that? I mean, those are some surface level things that can help you move towards the action, but truly, to get unstuck, you need to deal with what is the deeper pain point, what is the deeper patterning, what is the deeper thing that I'm recreating in my life from my past, that's old wounding, that this old wounded inner child part of me actually need some love, some compassion, and some attention. And once you heal that part of you and you give that part of you what it needs, then you start to get unstuck and you start breaking those patterns. And if you're wondering how the hell do you do that, that's exactly the work that I do with my clients. That's what I coach them to do, is to really cultivate that deep relationship with themselves by healing their old trauma, their old wounding, and reparenting themselves and creating this beautiful relationship with themselves, starting with their inner child, which is still alive in all of us. And it's just that part of us that unconsciously is driving that bus, is the inner child part of us. So if you are ready to get unstuck, if you're ready to say sayonara sucker to those self-sabotaging behaviors, I'd absolutely welcome the opportunity to chat with you. And truly, you have nothing to lose in speaking to me. You have so much to gain, because you're going to get really laser lucid clear on where you're at, where you want to go, what's getting in the way, what's stopping you, and we'll come up with a divine and juicy strategy and plan to get you exactly what you want. If this video resonated with you, I'd absolutely love for you to share it. If there's people that you feel like should be in this group, please invite them. Drop a comment below. Let me know your greatest, your biggest takeaway. And if you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'm so excited for you to be here. I'm so grateful for you allowing me to deliver these messages to you. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. Much love.